after collecting Garri, cup of Garri to vote. Don't cry later. Oh. Don't cry. Oh. As the Ondo State governorship election approaches, the people of Ondo State has begin to collect cup of rice, cup of Garri, groundnut, vegetables, and groundnut oil to pacify themselves, to pacify them as the election approaches. The PDP and the APC seems to be leading in wooing these people to get their votes.
Your candidate is the incumbent governor. But both of them are not unknown to each other. In fact, they are kindred. Some say that they are kindred spirits. In fact, there are those who go as far as saying that they don't necessarily expect much difference between the two political gladiators. And this is because both of them have worked with Akeredolu, and so there must have been some synergy in their politics. First of all, what's your take on that?
Yeah, well, as you can see during the debate, you can see the way they hug themselves after the debate. Both of them are from the same place. As a matter of fact, they see themselves as brothers. And I think that's one good thing about Ondo State. And I want to commend the people of Ondo State for a good electoral campaign period. And you can see the campaign is devoid of any wrongdoing, devoid of any fighting, violence, going off smoothly. And for the first time in the state, and I mean it, for the first time in the state, we are conducting an election where we don't have any violence anywhere, all because of the fact that the two candidates see themselves as brothers.
Yes, that is always to be desired. But what do you think of the commentary that I have heard that goes that these two people are, as a result of the zoning arrangement that was followed by the parties, these two candidates in particular, how do they put it? These two candidates in particular sort of have not allowed a varied kind of candidature to emerge. And so if it hadn't been for the zoning, perhaps, so the theory goes, then there might have been a much more vibrant field. And so what you are commending, which is to be commended, it's going peacefully, it's friendly, and all of that, there might have been a bit more vigor, shall we say, to this particular campaign. Do you agree with that notion?
Yeah, I do agree with the fact that if in those states we have a pattern and we follow that pattern, which is the fact that we follow our zoning. So sometimes things can go off balance, but at the same time, for this period, we are following zoning, and that's why you see most of them, almost all the people contesting, are basically from the same area, and that's why you are seeing this kind of campaign going on now, because they see themselves as brothers. Even if other zones, other areas of that district are participated in the electoral campaign, it wouldn't have changed anything, because we are getting matured in those states that look, life is not about do or die affair. Politics is not about do or die affair, and it's commendable.
What do you think of the lengths that the police have gone to, as we've been informed, I think it was just yesterday or so, that no regional kind of security network or anything like that will be permitted? They're all to clear the field, leave it to the police. The police is going to do its best to work in terms with, in line with the Electoral Act. First of all, what do you think of that?
Well, I don't really see where this thing actually came from, because Amotekun has never participated in any election in Ondo State. I am the late Governor Akeredolu set up Amotekun. I was part of the election conducted during his time, and there was never a time, I was part of the security committee during that time, there was never a time when Amotekun was involved with any of this. But you see, I love the sportsmanship display by the police, what the IGP said, which is good. Why IGP have to give the confidence to the opposition that look, okay, if if this is unfair, don't worry, we'll step in. And they've stepped in, no problem about that. But we have never, and I want to say the Amotekun has never been part of any election in Nigeria. If they have any evidence, let them show us where they see Amotekun guiding a voter to vote, or guiding anywhere during election, or seeing them moving anywhere during election. Never happened. They've not ever seen that. So where the opposition is with politics. Because even on that day of the election, you don't tell Amotekun not to work, because they still have to do their work. Whatever you just, they have kidnapping in the areas. Who will assist the police in getting things sorted out? It's still the same Amotekun. Most of our borders to Ondo State have to be guided by...
Listening to Honorable Femi Adekambi, former Commissioner for Special Duties, Culture.
Because Amotekun has never, and IDP has never been part of any election in Ondo State.
Okay. All right then. Well, indeed, just to underline that, the police boss, IG Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered the deployment of officers from various, I'm reading from a report here, various specialized units, including the Special Intervention Squad, Mobile Police Force, Counter-Terrorism Unit, Special Protection Unit, Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit, and K9, and that's just among others. So it looks like...
I'm not cutting you short. Basically, I don't think that may be that may be necessary, because, in Ondo State, one thing about Ondo State people, we in Ondo State, we are very peaceful now. We are very peaceful. We are kind of people, we are accommodating, we are warm, we are likable people, so we don't like violence. So bringing all those squads to Ondo State, it's not a war. It's not a war. But you see, if opposition are presenting some kind of impression about what's happening in Ondo State, they should remember the fact that after this election, we will still remain in Ondo State. Why must you present yourself, your state to the public, or to the nation, or to the entire world as if we are violent? Why not? Well, I can tell you, the IGP has done the right thing, fine, well and good, but there's no violence anywhere. The election is going to be peaceful, and it's going to go on smoothly. During the last governorship and presidential election, everything.
Indeed. I think people sort of get the idea that the election will be peaceful, and some have even said almost dull. Forgive my saying so. This is what I'm just reading, in the sense that most campaigning has been concentrated reportedly within the what is it now? The zones of the contestants, and it's. Whereas there's a lot to be said for peace and tranquility, elections are what they are. They usually are colorful affairs, vibrant affairs. But because of what I just said earlier, people are thinking that, well, in fact, maybe, yeah, I'd like to hear your take on this. People are saying that, well, I shouldn't say people are saying. It is reported that some people think that there's very little to choose between both the candidates of the APC and the PDP, politically speaking, because they're sort of political soulmates.
Well, let me correct what you just said. Just yesterday, our candidate was in Ondo State. Was in Owo, my hometown, where thousands of people came out to receive him. It was massive. And he has been moving around the entire state. So the impression that people are having that they are concentrating their campaign in the south is totally wrong. Totally. Today, just more or less the last day of the rally, we are in Ilage, some town. Today we are going for campaign in some town. So we have been campaigning everywhere. And likewise, PDP candidates too, another candidate, they've been campaigning everywhere, because it's an electoral campaign period. You must campaign everywhere. Make sure that you convince the electorate to vote for you. It cannot be, the Southerners are not going to be the only one that will vote. And you see, why this election is unique is because of the fact that, one, the two of them are politically very inclined. They are smart. They are both from the same area. And funny enough, both of them belong to the same party before, APC. And at the point in time, another one moved to PDP. Both of them are the deputy governor. It's so interesting, very interesting. But upon it all, of course, our party, APC, will win the election. It's obvious.
Okay, I can just imagine that PDP is members in Ondo State are listening to this, and if they were on the show, they would probably be saying exactly the same. They would be saying, to your assertion that APC will win this election, they would be asserting that, wait for it, PDP is going to be winning this election. But that is in the interest of political rhetorics. Just before we continue, Otumba Okunowo is on the line from Abeokuta. Good morning, Otumba.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead now.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yari. Good morning, Uncle Yari.
I hope you're not listening from your television, because that is causing some confusion. Please just listen.
Can I continue? Good morning, Uncle
On the phone. The television, if it is indeed what you are listening from, is causing
okay,
some...
let me. Uncle Yari, you know I'm PDP, and I will talk PDP.
Thank you, sir.
I know this is TVC is APC station.
No. Why do you want us to argue from the very beginning? You know, TVC is just a national station. We give equal time to both, all parties.
So the idea thing is for the PDP to win that election, and like it did also in Edo, except for the manipulation. If there's no manipulation, if the results are transmitted electronically on RF, for everybody to see, like it happened everywhere in the Senate climbs. They just did the American election. The next day, the results are out, and the loser congratulated the winner because she saw that it was clear. So let it be clear also in Nigeria. Let the electorate decide, not the INEC officers. Let the voters decide. Let our votes count. Then we will trust the election. We will trust the democracy. Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. But you see, Otumba, you almost wanted to cause a quarrel, but I will never quarrel with a viewer. Why will you say what you just said? TVC is a national station. It gives fair time, equal time to all that are willing to come forward. But that's, a little matter. Perhaps you didn't mean it very seriously, because we have demonstrated that, time and again. But going back to that Otumba's assertion, I guess this is what Kayode Egbetokun, IGP, this is what he wants to ensure. What that gentleman has just said, that, look, let there be a level playing field. And that has been something that has been emphasized, that everything within the powers of the police to achieve this is being put, forward. So would you agree with that, Dr. Adekombi, that the police is doing its best to show that we don't have a horse in the race, and people can look forward. In fact, they are going way. In fact, considering the peace and tranquility that we say prevails in Ondo State now, when you look at all those police formations that I just read out, you say, in fact, in Yoruba, they might say, why won't take away? What are we doing? Is it more than election? Why are you going to all this extent? But I think it is just because of what Otumba said that the police is going to all this extent.
Let me react to what Otumba said.
That caller said.
Nobody, no political party, especially in our own party, we say there should not be a free and fair election. Nobody prays for that. No political party will come out and say, look, I don't want a free and fair election. That's the fact. So where is getting in the nation that from that is because of the fact that, you see, in Ondo State, PDP is more or less dead. Who are the people in PDP now? That's why I pity the candidates. The candidate, my friend, is somebody I know very well. He's my brother, he's my friend. We have been together for years. I told him, I said, you know what? You are contesting from a wrong party. Come to our party. Come back to your party that you belong. And I can show you, after the election, you come to the party. Most of the people that are in 90%, 80%, 80 to 90% of their leaders are now in APC. So I sympathize with him because of the fact that they in Ogun State now, he's talking about a free and fair election. So what does he want us to do? We in Ondo State, we don't rig election. We don't have to rig election because we are the most popular. Why do you need to rig the election when you know that you are going to win? When you know that people are on your side?
Okay. All right then. Mr. George, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Garri.
Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to the guest.
Yes.
Uncle Garri, from the perspective of a political observer,
yes,
I am concerned about this upcoming Ondo election in one or two ways. The last time, I think it was this same guest before you, the last time I watched on YouTube on a session that you held with him, and he was speaking to you from his quiet room in London. And then you asked him, it's a month or so to election. Are you not coming home to campaign? He said, no, it's a walkover, that you should not worry about it. As much as his expectation could be true, it is not healthy for our democracy. I am linked towards his party. I'm not a member, but I'm linked towards his party. But I want a situation where there should be an opposition that a party fears. We don't want to, we the populace will be the ones to suffer it if there's no strong opposition to a government in place. They will just, look at us as if we mean nothing to them. If they know that they can win any election any day, even if you suggest anything to them, they won't take it. They know that with or without taking that advice, they will still be returned. I don't know what the PDP is experiencing in Ondo State, but whatever it is, they need to brace up and present themselves as a force to reckon with in that state. Even if they lose to the other party, they should be able to give that impression that they have the capacity to take it at the next election. It's important for the benefit of all. Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. So, Dr. Adekombi, how would you react?
Yeah, when he said so, I laughed. And on the cover of my home in London. Yes, you see, the point is this: when you know what you have done concerning your election, you'll be confident of your winning. It's on record in this country. And in fact, not only in Nigeria, there are people who do win election from prison. A brother of ours won an election from prison in Nigeria. He was in prison when he won an election. He was allegedly alleged of doing something, and he won. He was arrested. While he was there inside the distance, he won an election. So what are you talking about? Did you see him on the street? But prior to that time, he has done his own work. He has worked with the grassroots. He had done everything perfect, and he won that election. So election is by your capacity of your engagement with the grassroots, and that was why I said that time that look, it's a walkover because I know what the leaders, what the stakeholders have done in Ondo State, how far they have gone, how far we have moved with the grassroots, and that was why I confidently said that look, we is a walkover. And that's why I'm here now. We are all there in Ondo State, moving, campaigning, engaging people. I am the secretary of the Special Engagement Committee of the National Campaign Council. I didn't sleep yesterday until this morning. I didn't sleep until 4:30 a.m. this morning, engaging with the people, engaging with the stakeholders. And that is the way why most of the PDP people are busy sleeping. Even up to now, some of them, we are in the same area here, are still busy sleeping. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. You must be grassrooted for you to win an election. And that is what Lucky Aiyedatiwa has done. And that's what the party APC have done. And that's what we are doing.
Okay. I did have one or two comments to make, but the election is between incumbent Lucky Aiyedatiwa, APC, ruling APC, and Honorable Agboola Ajayi of the PDP. Now, the other thing that I had said when we were going away, you know, Honorable Adekombi, I had said when we were going away that I had one or two things to add. The caller, just before you spoke, and then we had to go on break, was making the point that it's probably most preferable anywhere in democracy land to have an opposition that is not a pushover, that the incumbent has to sit up and take note of, knowing that they are being watched all the way on behalf of the people. But so it was in that context that he made the comment about, you know, you're thinking it was a walkover, that does this really serve democracy if indeed, is it that you don't even pay them any attention or any respect at all? Might that not, you know, it's possible that it might come back to bite one if one is so dismissive of, its opposition. How would you react to that notion? That were you, in fact,
yes,
were you being dismissive? Were you being dismissive of the PDP?
No. Let me be still with you. Personally, this is my own personal opinion. I think for a healthy environment, we should have a very strong opposition that will give the ruling party, the government, serious run for their money. Because without strong opposition, we might be in trouble. That's a fact. But you see, whom are you going to blame now? Are you going to blame the present government that we don't have a strong opposition? Yeah. Are you going to blame Lucky Aiyedatiwa that in Ondo State today, practically PDP is not existing? Are you going to blame me for that? No, you blame the opposition parties members who are greedy. All they want is that they jump from one place to the other looking for what to eat.
I see.
Although there's nothing bad in you moving from one political party to the other to achieve your aim. Yes. But the point is, are you going to blame Lucky that the opposition in Ondo State is practically zero? No. The opposition parties too, are they putting their act together to really want to be an opposition and give the government a good run for their money? No. Mention it anywhere. Are they ready for it? No. So the point is this: we must look critically at the opposition. The opposition. Look at the PDP national. Look at the ring or everywhere that fighting up and down. Have they really sat down to say, look, what are we really doing? Today, practically, where is the opposition against the government? None. Somebody came up here and said TBC is for the government. Okay, if TBC is for the government, which one is for PDP?
You know, we addressed that. We addressed that person.
To create employment for the people.
Yeah. You know, we rebutted that. TBC is not for the government.
Exactly. So if he's saying that, look at what happened in US concerning Trump election. Trump campaigned 900 rallies. 900 rallies. I kept telling everybody that, look, this man will win this election. They say, oh, you know, if Democrats say, see, this man is purely a politician. He knows his target, and he's targeting it. He brought in trust and he said, look, and that one bought Twitter.
But sir,
that one discovered that Twitter is the thing now where you can get into the people.
Okay. I'll let
from
that
there,
pass.
they won that election.
Trump is not.
So if I decide to set up a TV station today, that does not mean, and I said, okay, that may be my way of getting to the people.
Okay.
And for somebody coming up on the TV and said, your station belongs to, do you know how many people that are working with TVC? Do you know the economy that TVC is adding to the value that TVC is adding to our economy?
Indeed.
So what has the opposition done? Nothing. Ordinary radio station they don't have.
Oh dear. Okay.
And what is strong opposition cannot be strong.
Reverend Dominic, good morning, sir. Let me thank you for holding on all that while. Go ahead now, please. Reverend Dominic, go ahead now, please.
Good morning, Chiviore. Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in and for holding on. Go ahead.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning, the commissioner from Ondo State.
Former commissioner.
Chiviore, by the first caller, I want to answer the first caller. I thought you could have asked me a question. When you made a call, did anybody ask you whether it's APC or AP or PDP? Did anybody ask him before they passed the call to the studio? Nobody asked that question. I think TVC have been standing as a very national and international television. No bias about that. Maybe it's a new caller or a new person, maybe in this system. TVC have done well. But by saying that, I want to ask your commissioner a question. If your commissioner has seen the
he's a former commissioner. He's the former commissioner for special duties,
on the election,
culture and tourism.
The advert of APC and what they want to use to sell themselves on channels as an onlooker from far. I want to ask commissioner, those things they put there, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Those things they put as an advert, is it enough to convince the electorate in the state? Because in all their adverts, I saw just a road that was not tarred. I saw an old bridge. And what again? I don't know, just 10 things they put there. When I saw that advert, to me, it was not convincing to me because there was no project. There was no finished project in that advert. And if it's what they're using to convince the Ondo electorate, I think it's shallow, to my own opinion. Number two, whether there's opposition or not, like PDP, from onset, PDP have not been opposition. This is a party that has all the structure, has all the money, has all the intelligence, and I've not seen a lazy opposition like PDP in my lifetime. So let's keep PDP aside. Nobody should cry for them. But what I'm trying to say, by what I'm seeing on television and the advert of APC, is not convincing enough. I want the commissioner to answer me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Okay. Good morning, Reverend. Okay, he invited your comments.
Yeah, let me comment the last caller for what he said.
Reverend Dominic.
TVC was not set up politically for political reasons, no. So I commend him for that. Concerning the advert that you said, people have forgotten the fact that Ayedatiwa was deputy governor to Akeredolu. Whatever achievement ascribed to Akeredolu today, Ayedatiwa was part of it. The success of Amotekun today, Ayedatiwa was part of it. Everything that Akeredolu achieved, Ayedatiwa was part of it. So Ayedatiwa can conveniently tell everybody that, look, I was part of that government and I was part of the success story of
as could Agboala Ajayi.
That is number one. That's number one.
As could Agboala Ajayi.
The same thing with Agboala Ajayi, but don't forget the fact that it was Lucky Ayedatiwa took over before the first tenure of Akeredolu. That is number one, Zayori. Number two is that this man just came in barely 10 months ago. Less than 1 year. Less than 1 year. What do you, there's no how you expect a government to start listing roads constructed across the state, running to maybe 100 kilometers within less than 6, 4, 5 months. Having said that, There are some roads which are particular, which is listed in its book, because there's a book that is on in the state that has been completed. Today, in those states, no civil servant is being owed money. No pensioners are getting their payments. Even though that should not be counted as an achievement in a civilized society, but that is where we have found ourselves. So when you look at it, this government has been doing a lot. It has been creating employment and going into massive agricultural produce. So to me, if this is his time, once we finish the election, for him now to critically sit down and move the state forward. And that's why we all believe in him, that Ondo State will achieve quite a lot with him.
Okay.
Himself and his deputy governor. The deputy governor is more or less like my brother. I have known him to be a diligent and very, very honest person for years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, according to INEC, how many registered voters are there in Ondo State? We're looking at a little over 2 million, 2,053,000.
Yes.
And of that number, only 1.757 actually picked up their voting cards. That means that 295 odd, have, for whatever reason, decided not to take up the offer to be part of it. So they're going to be 300.
Maybe due to logistic reasons.
Okay. That is what will explain it.
Because there are some communities that are far inside, and majority of them are not using. They are not on social media. They don't have even phone to contact them. They don't have any address to put. So logistic of them picking up their voters card is tough too. Logistic of them moving down to their various local government to pick up. So I think largely because of logistics, I'm an environmentalist. Logistics, environmental issue may cause it. And don't forget about the fact that when you look at the movement of people down, what's going to cause them? They might feel reluctant to say, you know what, I can't spend this kind of money to come and pick this. So largely logistics, largely due to death rates, some people must have died, which their cars may be part of it.
Okay, then. Well, everybody is watching out for the election, and I certainly wish you and all the contestants the best of luck. Well, clearly, your interest, Honorable Femi Adekombi, is with the incumbent governor and the party. But
my party is my party.
Yes, exactly, as it is your right to be.
It's less than a week to the 2024 governorship elections in Ondo State, and the candidates and their political parties are involved in last-minute rush for votes. According to reports by Yaga Africa, politicians are wooing voters with rice, Garri, maize, and other food items, while presenting the group's pre-election assessment report during the signing of the peace accord by the political parties and their candidates in Akure. The head of knowledge management and learning at Yaga Africa, Sifaye Bichi, alleged that the parties have resorted to inducing voters with cash gifts and food items to secure their support for the election. Now, Bichi alleged that leaders of one of the major political parties distributed fertilizer, rice, Garri, and maize to community leaders who were assigned to distribute the items within their areas of influence. Now, Adu, it's less than a week to the election in Ondo State. The issue of voter inducement, it keeps coming up in our election discourse. But what impact does this have on the quality of Nigeria's election?
Well, there's no doubt that in the past few years, INEC has improved tremendously. The beavers, making it difficult for people, making it difficult for people to snatch ballot papers, even reducing the number of people that die during elections because snatching ballot papers, totally and all that, they are no longer fashionable because of the improving technology, that makes it very difficult to eliminate all sort of fault lines. But I think what has been very difficult to eliminate is corruption, in the electoral process, inducement of voters before, during, and after the election. And we have just seen that case now going on in Ondo State again, where people are being offered palliatives in order to ensure that they vote for particular political parties. I don't think this is restricted to any ruling party. I think it's a common thing among almost all the political. But what differ is the degree, because one party is richer than the other. But in terms of in content and form, it's the same. So yeah, if they have money, they will do the same thing. And on election day, we have also seen new strategies where people will be offered money, but it will almost be invisible for monitors to catch them. So I think what we are doing is producing a system where people emerge through fraudulent means. And when politicians emerge through, take the part of dishonor to emerge as political leaders, they are contemptuous of the people that have voted for them. They don't have confidence in those that have voted for them. And they don't feel they owe the voters any obligation. Yes. And that's why when they get to office, the first thing they do is that they don't care about you. They go there to recoup back what they have spent. And they also think you don't have any moral authority to question them. And that's why they can afford to just do anything when they get to power. And I think what we are seeing is diminishing returns in terms of qualitative democratic processes. And at the end of the day, it's going to breed a lack of trust in democratic institutions. It's going to breed strong individuals but very weak institutions. And it's going to create a kind of public distrust in the whole electoral process. So at the end of the day, people will not have confidence even going out to vote, because they know that when they go out to vote, the best will not come out of that process.
Okay, a former governor in Ekiti State called it stomach infrastructure. Voter inducement. I know you're not a lawyer, but is it legal?
Of course it's not legal. The Electoral Act frowns at it, and arrests have been made. If you are arrested distributing money on election day, you go to jail. All we need to do is realize that politicians now, because all the EFCC's energy is concentrated on election day, but politicians are so smart that they start inducing voters long before election day so that they can retain your loyalty, because they know others will come. And usually for our people, it's the last person that comes.
They will go for it.
Yes. But the one who has been coming to them consistently.
They've forgotten that one.
No. Listen to me. The one who has been coming to them consistently, they are more likely to listen to that person.
Oh.
Yes. So they've discovered that the Nigerian voter always votes for the last person to come and give him something. So they have now found a way to do that on a continuous basis, not simply wait until election day. Okay. On election day, on the day before election, they will still come to service that constituency. On election day, they will still share money. So they spend a lot of money trying to get people compromised ahead of the election. So this is not as Wale said, it's not easy to snipe ballot box anymore. In the past, they will snipe ballot box and not. No, they will gun you down if you try it. So they've now found a way to win by weaponizing poverty, by giving people money, on the days leading to election, even weeks. I remember Osun election, they gave cows to some people. And that election came at a time when they were preparing for Salah.
Wow.
So when somebody gives you a ram or a cow, they give your homestead a cow, he has helped you to solve the problem. Because you were already agonizing, where will I get money to buy
cow or ram
layer or this and that? And the politician steps forward and they tie
one in front of your house,
one cow in front of your house. Chances are that everybody in that house
they are voting for
will vote for you. Some have gone to the the point of giving people money and making them swear to the God of iron. They will tell you, they will put a gun. They put a gun in front of you and tell you to jump over it. Some, they will give money and tell people to drink water that they put some stuff inside. So this thing has become extremely ridiculous. We've got to find a way to solve the problem.
I know we are pressed for time, but just in 1 minute, can we have a legislative measure drawn up to stop this thing?
There is a law already against it. That's what I'm saying, telling you that the Electoral Act
implementation of the law.
I don't think the EFCC even has enough personnel to monitor elections and catch people doing this. And I've seen law enforcement being used to even distribute money. There's a video in Bauchi State, law enforcement, they were the ones, as you are voting, they are putting it in your hands. In that way, you know, the cubicle that we use for this is not high. People have said, okay, look for higher cubicle so that they can spy. The person who has given you money, he will also spy on you. Sure that. So sometimes they will even show you. It's a joke. Election is a joke in our country. The voter will show you that. So that it does not miss that money.
Almost secret ballot. Then.
So that it will not miss that money that you. So you see, poverty predisposes people to all kinds of indignities. And I think it was in Canada I saw people put leaves on their heads. When you put leaves on your head, you are saying, I'm up for sale. I'm for sale. On election day. So it's a very big problem. I don't even know. I've been thinking, I don't know how we are going to solve this.
I understand.
But Ondo people, let me tell you people. You people are started collecting cup of Garri. You people are now collecting cup of beans, granite, vegetable oil, just to vote. You understand? I will tell you people to vote wisely. This was how we told you to vote wisely the last time. You refused. Now see, look at where we land. Don't, if after collecting Garri, cup of Garri to vote, don't cry later. Don't cry. We will be here to remind, to let you know that we want you. You understand? Vote for the best candidate. Do not be influenced by a cup of Garri or cup of rice. Get it?